I think that I've always been I've always been one to say, like, you never know if tomorrow's promised. So, like, wear your
Yeah.
heart on your sleeve and, like, do what you want to do today because tomorrow isn't a guarantee. And then my accident happened. And I remember one of my friends had said, like, you're like the living example of that. Right.
Welcome to Sheila's Take, your go to podcast for thoughtful insights on love, faith, health, fitness, relationships, and navigating today's challenges through a spiritual perspective. Join me, Sheila Dunbar, as we explore various aspects of life with a mindful and godly approach. Tune in for engaging discussions on all things meaningful and transformative. Welcome to Sheila's Take podcast. Today, I am honored to have a truly remarkable guest with me, Elena Brandner. Elena's story is one of unwavering strength, resilience, and triumph over adversity. After a life-altering accident that left her paralyzed from the waist down, Elena defied the odds and embarked on a courageous journey of recovery and self-discovery. Join us as we dive into a conversation with Elena as she shares her profound insights and wisdom on turning adversities into opportunities for growth and transformation. Welcome, Elena. How are you?
Hi, I'm so good. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for the amazing introduction.
Oh, well, you're very welcome. I'm so glad that you took the time to be a guest on my podcast, and I appreciate you stopping by and sharing your journey and your story. And I like to kind of just jump right into it if that's okay.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
Why don't you, if you can take us back to the moment of your accident and share how it impacted your life and perspective on moving forward?
Yeah, so I don't remember my accident at all. I just remember that morning leaving on my to go to a doctor's appointment, and that's about the extent of what I know that day.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then shortly, I guess 6 days later, I woke up and I was in the hospital. Um, and so I, sorry, my dogs are barking.
Not a problem.
um,
Not a problem.
so but there was a video that came forward for my accident because there was a truck driver that was driving, southbound on the highway that happened to have a dash cam that came forward and, gave the recording so that I could actually eventually look to see what had happened.
Mhm.
And so basically what had happened, I was behind a semi, and I'm not one to necessarily like driving behind semis, and so I was going around it. And in doing so, I was trailing behind an SUV, and I drove a lifted Jeep, but I still couldn't see in front of the SUV.
Mhm.
And the SUV swerved like last second out of the way and into the lane where the semi was because there was a stopped vehicle in the fast lane on a major highway.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, and so what happened was I didn't have any time to respond, and I ended up rear-ending the back of this vehicle and going around 70 miles an hour. I was going, pretty fast,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I ended up hitting the back of it, and it elevated my Jeep into the next lane where the semi was, and then the semi hit my undercarriage, and my Jeep landed on its side, and then my hard top popped off, and then I got ejected out, like, right next to the semi and my Jeep, and so the semi ended up jackknifing the whole entire road, the highway, and the highway was shut down for quite some time,
Mhm.
and then I, uh, I was able to meet the paramedic that took care of me because she was the mother of one of my good friends, and so I was able to take her out to dinner and ask her, like, what she had seen, what she saw, her point of view. And she had said that when she rolled up on the scene, she thought that I was a fatality coming up because I was like face down. And she came over and came to check my pulse, and I just started talking to her. And she had said that the first thing had that I had said was that I couldn't feel my legs, and so from there, she said that she got me into like they got me into the ambulance, and I was able to verify my name and stuff
Mhm.
and, which they had gotten because 2 guys had stopped, when my accident happened, they had seen what happened and 2 guys had stopped. And so one of them was a retired firefighter from Brooklyn, and he actually was the one that kept me conscious the whole entire time. And I found this all out going through like Facebook comments and things like
Mhm.
that. And so I assume that in conversation with him that I told him my name and that he was able to tell the paramedic what my name was, and then I was able to confirm it in the ambulance. And so then they took me to the hospital and uh, they put me in an induced coma, and I was there for 6 days. So the accident happened on a Monday, and then I was in a coma until that following Saturday.
Wow.
And yeah, and waking up, it didn't really hit me that I was paralyzed from the waist down until about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks at the hospital when I got asked to do a test. And in the test, they asked for certain movements, and one of the movements was to bring my knee to my chest, and I wasn't able to do it, and that's kind of when everything went downhill. I mean, people were telling me as I was in the hospital that I was paralyzed or like that that I wasn't able to walk and stuff, and but I was so drugged up that I didn't really nothing really
Mhm.
processed
Yeah.
or like I went through one ear out the other because just wasn't really like it was just wasn't there in a way.
Yeah. Thank God that though you are paralyzed, that you did come through that, and
Oh yeah,
that's
for sure.
definitely a blessing.
Yeah, God was with me that day 100%.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
sustain a brain injury
What?
and so, it could have been it was really, really bad to the point where people are like, "We have no idea how you're here." So,
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's
That's God's word.
that's definitely
Yeah.
um, but what were some of your biggest, challenges that you faced during your recovery journey, and how did you overcome them?
So, I'm still in the heart of my recovery journey, very
Mhm.
much so. I go to rehab 4 days a week and
Okay.
basically like a part-time job, 'cause the commute is an hour drive, and so I drive an hour and I'm there for 3 hours, and I drive an hour home, so it takes up
Mhm.
most of my week. But some of the biggest challenges is probably, let me think, probably overcoming, like, the lack of independence, like, in the beginning when I wasn't able to do anything for myself. That was really
Mhm.
challenging because
Yeah.
I was a very independent person prior to the accident happening, and I wasn't relying on anybody to do anything for me. And the accident happened, and then I lost not just the ability to walk, but I lost the ability to drive. I lost the ability to use the
Mhm.
restroom. I lost the ability to take a shower by myself. I lost the
Yeah.
ability to do everything, all the things that we don't even think twice about.
But that
And
we take for granted.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was probably the hardest thing that I I had to really, like, face and overcome, and by the 1 year mark, I started driving again, and then once I started driving again, I started gaining my independence back, and that kind of was a big, like, energy shift for me in a way
Mhm.
because I was able to be in a vehicle by myself again and, like, have spend time by myself again, and something that we also take for granted is
Yeah.
our time in solitude.
Yeah. I'm married and I have a family, and as I like to say, my term is life is be lifing. And sometimes, as a mother, you need some or wife, you need some me time. And a lot of times
Yeah.
you don't get that. And being in my car, when I'm just going to the supermarket, that's it's
Yeah, it is.
it's
We take those
you
things
can't
like
take those
we
for
don't yeah,
granted.
we really do, and or like I see people driving and they're all like up seem like they're so upset all the time, and it's like, "What are you so upset about?" Like, roll your windows down, enjoy your time in your car.
Exactly, like, put some tunes on, enjoy it,
Yeah,
have a good
yeah,
time. Yeah, yeah. Now you a pharmacy graduate, right?
yeah, I
And an
am.
athlete. Um, how did that background influence your approach to overcoming, like, adversity and staying motivated?
So, no, it's a great question. I went to pharmacy school. I graduated May 2021 from the University of Florida.
Mhm.
And I took some time off afterwards because I was kind of burnt out and I just needed to recollect myself and enjoy the time that I had prior to jumping into the career right away, prior into jumping into major responsibility,
Mhm.
essentially. And so I waited until February 2022 to take my board exam. And then the week of my board exam was the week the accident happened. And so it was kind of like a little intervention. I don't know if it was an intervention, like that I wasn't ever supposed to go that route, or if I, who knows? It's just the perspective that we just decide to choose.
Right.
The, uh, but I think like when I was in pharmacy school, like I was a bartender, and so every single weekend I would drive back home and I would
Mhm.
work all weekend long, and I was constantly hustling and and working hard because that's what I think that we should be doing is working
Right.
hard. And so then as this adversity hit me, and I think back to like what I was doing in pharmacy school, and I was still going to the gym a lot. Like every single day I was in the
Mhm.
gym on top of, studying and then working. And so I was making sure that I had my habits all in line to get me to where I needed to go.
Right.
And, I think that's carried over into my recovery substantially because if I didn't have the background that I had prior to, meaning like being in the gym, being an athlete, I was an athlete all throughout high school, and I was a fitness enthusiast all throughout pharmacy school. And so if I didn't have those things, I don't know if I would be looking at my recovery or moving through my recovery in the same way because I know what it takes to push my body.
Mhm.
I know how hard I can take some things, and I know what my limits are, and I honestly don't think that we do have really limits, it's just what we tell ourselves.
Right,
And
right, right.
so I think what I was doing prior to definitely set me up to be able to achieve what I have throughout this recovery.
I'm a firm believer that you have a certain mindset and your body will follow. Now, you're a mindset and a fitness coach now, right?
Yeah.
Now, I know you said you were into fitness, you've always done that. But what made you still want to do that? And let's talk about mindset. What exactly how does that fit in together?
So I think it falls under like alignment, right? So I feel like everybody wants to look good,
Mhm.
no matter where you're at in life. Like if you had the opportunity to look good, like you probably choose to look good versus not.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, unfortunately, their habits don't really align with that outcome, and
Yeah.
we get caught up in that just kind of obsessing over like how we look and how we feel. And when you start working on yourself and start you do go to the gym and do start getting
Mhm.
results and you do start seeing that's one less thing that you're worrying about because now you look good and you feel good and now everything else is kind of opening up and aligning for you because you're having less to worry about and less to think about, less obsessing over, right? Because
Right.
you know you're not thinking about, well, I gotta wear this because I don't, it doesn't make me look that good. But like I'm gonna
Mhm.
wear this one instead, things like that. And so I think that's how it kind of all like comes together. And because when you start like taking care of yourself, then your mindset kind of follows, right? Like
Mhm.
that's the
Yeah.
same thing, like you had just said, like you train your mind and your body follows, but you
Mhm.
also train your body and your mind follows.
Mhm.
And so I think that's how it kind of can be laid out or how it can be meshed together.
Okay. And in what ways has your perspective on life, resilience, and strength evolved as a result of your experiences?
I think that I've always been I've always been one to say, like, you never know if tomorrow's promised. So, like, wear your
Yeah.
heart on your sleeve and, like, do what you want to do today because tomorrow isn't a guarantee. And then my accident happened. And I remember one of my friends had said, like, you're like the living example of that. Right. Cause I'm like, yeah. And like, that's why I don't know if that, like, me preaching that and like saying that the
Yeah.
majority of my life, foreshadowed anything. But I think that, I think when, I think when we start looking at our situation as a place of purpose or a place
Mhm.
of growth, I think that's when things start opening up and being revealed to us on the direction that we're supposed to go, if that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Like you said, tomorrow is not promised, and we have to live today for today. And my mom used to say, "Today will take care of today will take care of itself. So don't worry about. So just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Be in the present.
be in the present.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tomorrow is another day. Don't worry about tomorrow. Just be in the present. So, and
Right.
that's the way I started to kind of look at life. And at my age, there's a lot of things that I changed my mindset for certain things. And um it's interesting, the things that people are able to accomplish when they change their mindset.
Yeah, no,
Things you never think
definitely.
you're able to do, or would
Yeah.
never put you in situations that you are, because you have your mind, your mindset is different. You're changing what you're thinking about and things like that. One of the questions I was thinking about was, what message or wisdom would you hope to impart to others, um, through sharing your story and your journey of resilience?
Mm, well, I think we have to be okay with letting go of what was
Yeah.
when things happen. And I think that we tend to not do that. And I think that's how a lot of us fall into suffering.
Yeah.
And I think that we need to we need to be okay with letting go of what was, because that's probably one of the biggest lessons that I've had to learn, was letting go of like my old life and what I
Mhm.
thought my life was going to be like, to then be able to open the door and welcome in to what life is meant to be for me, right? Like
Right.
God's plan for me, and that not putting any resistance towards that because I'm attached to what was and what I thought life was going to be like. And I we think that we definitely should reframe the outlook of what letting go actually is, and
Mhm.
surrendering. Like we have control, but we don't have control, right?
Right.
Like we have control to the extent of like how we react to things, how we respond. Actually, not even react, how we respond to things. That's what we have control over,
Right.
and everything else is kind of out of our control. And so that's where the mindset stuff comes in, right? We are able to look at a certain situation, see it for what it is, and how we respond to it is ultimately how our reality is going to be shaped.
Right. You have for someone to have gone through what you have experienced, you have such a positive um outlook and personality. Was there a time when you didn't have that, or you
Yeah.
didn't? Yeah,
Yeah, in the
Mhm.
beginning, it was rough. It was really I was in a really dark place to
Yeah.
where, like, I didn't know who I was, what I was, and I didn't know I was just really scared of I was just scared. I was scared of what I didn't know, and I didn't know what was gonna happen, and I
Mhm.
had to then step into the unknown, and I had to really, just trust that God's got me and He knows what He's doing, because I'm alive when I very well shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And so I, it was really hard in the beginning. Yeah, I would be lying if I said I didn't go through those dark points. And every once in a while, I don't say I have bad days,
Mhm.
although like once in a blue moon, I'll have a bad day, but it's mostly bad moments. And so in those moments, I try to reassure myself and like find my validation through my
Mhm.
actions and tell myself like, okay, like you're doing the best that you can. Like things are going to work out exactly in the way that they're supposed to, because you're doing your part, and you can't ask for anything more as long as you're doing your part.
Right. So let's talk about the you with the fitness coach, and you're coaching you're coaching people now. So how is that working out?
It's going well. I'm just starting out, and so I'm still learning how to brand myself and
Mhm.
get my name out there, because I did just start doing that this year. But I feel much more fulfilled doing this than going into pharmacy, because I feel like it definitely aligns more with what I actually enjoy doing in life. And I think that's really important,
Mhm.
because when we're not aligned in what we are meant to do in life, then we tend to not be happy, and we tend to just be living for, I guess, selfish reasons versus more of more of a purpose driven life. And now I feel like I'm living more purpose driven
Oh,
versus, yeah,
yeah.
versus before
Yeah.
it was more of like, I guess selfish reasons or like, pleasure driven, like going
Mhm.
to work, going like finding a job and working it because you would need to make money to then live outside of your job versus finding a like working a job that you don't feel like you're working at because it's something that you actually love doing. And
That you
so,
enjoy doing.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah,
I had a guest on my show recently, and we were talking. He was actually a fitness coach also, and one of the things I said to him was, I put you guys in a category with lifesavers because that's what you guys are doing. You are transforming lives. You are saving lives. Um, and you are helping people gain their confidence back because you don't know. Even for me, I went through a total transformation with my weight, and now I'm in the gym, you know,
yeah. It's awesome.
5 a.m. in the morning. I'm like,
Okay,
I
yeah,
gotta get to the gym, but
yeah,
that's my mindset now. And I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life, and
that's
I'm
such a good
58
feeling.
years old and I
Oh
feel
wow, you don't even look like that at all. Good for you.
and I feel great, you know, and there's things that I've never done. I recently took I don't know, an aerial yoga class. And I'm like,
Oh wow,
and
yeah,
I'm
those are
like, "What?"
cool.
You know, but it's like it's I'm able to do those things now because of my health and the fact that, I have a great, fitness coach. I have a great nutritional, coach that and they help me and they've literally helped save my life because I mean, I was
Yeah,
taking
that's
medication,
amazing.
everything. So and
And it builds
that's
your confidence
and
for
they've
you to
built
be
my
to
confidence.
for you to be
Exactly.
able to take that aerial class, and for it to go yeah, to go and try
Yes,
to go
exactly,
try new things. And that's
So
awesome because 'cause you're building more experiences that way.
exactly, so, I mean, you guys are amazing, and you don't get as much credit as you really should because I'm telling you, it's you guys are saving
Thank you.
lives,
Thank you.
and I appreciate you,
Thank you.
Um, what what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for a lot of things, but
Mhm.
probably honestly, probably like the gift of life to be able to be living the human experience and to be able to still be here and able to serve people and love people and connect with people because that's what life's about.
That's
Like
right.
life's about connecting and
Mhm.
hearing stories and sharing stories and living experiences and helping people and serving and all of that, all of what that encompasses. And so I'm grateful for the gift of life
Well,
because it was almost
I
ripped away from me.
yeah, I appreciate you, and you are a testament to um just the true nature of a person who is resilient,
Thank
who
you.
can bounce back, and I take my if I had a hat on, I would take it off for you because you are inspiring, you are motivating,
Thank
and
you.
I appreciate everything you do, and I'm quite sure I know that you're gonna be successful in what you're doing,
Thank you
it
so
being
much. I
being a
appreciate
fitness
that.
coach. And let my listeners know how they can if they wanna reach out to you and connect with you, let them know how they can connect with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So they can find me on Instagram and they can direct message me there. I'm pretty good with with getting back to my DMs and
Mhm,
my handle is flow state underscore recovery, but there's no W in flow state, so it's FLO state underscore
mhm.
recovery, and it's my Instagram, and that's the best place to reach me.
Definitely. Well, Elena Bradner,
Yeah, very
thank
good.
you so much for stopping by Sheila's Take.
Yeah,
And
thank you so much, Sheila, for having me.
yeah, you are a blessing and keep
Thank you.
doing the wonderful things that you're doing. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of you and hearing more
Yeah,
about you.
I
And
appreciate that. Thank you.
you're welcome to come anytime you want to come back. You let me know,
Awesome.
and you are definitely welcome back. Okay,
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. I
you're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
Until next time, remember to embrace the journey, build lasting connections, and step boldly into all that life has in store for you. I'm your host, Sheila Dunbar. Blessings to you.